What is up, everyone? Little Bat here today, and I want to present to you my Paladin build. This is my two-handed build. I know I kind of held off on demonstrating my builds, and some of y'all asked about my Paladin during my last video for the end for the prior DLC, and I was afraid they were going to get nerfed down too much, and that's why I was kind of hesitant, but they are still absolutely beastly, as you can kind of tell from the short demonstration, and also what's at the end of the video, me doing this whole boss run at the floor 200s on the Rift. I want to get into how I have this set up and why it's absolutely just dominating these bosses. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead into my battle settings, and I'll show you the affinities that I'm using. My primary affinity, because I have the skeleton monster out, is the swordsman, because I am using the two-handed weapon for the MP reduction and the damage increase from the 400 and 600. And then switching over here, I got the 600 monk for the damage dealt when you have high HP, which of course you see I got over 21,000 with the paladin. Stacking it with that muscle belt and the mantra, that will absolutely just help you do a bunch of more damage. Also to the break gauge that's set up, I have the 600 warrior, so I'm bypassing and getting that additional weakness stacked on with my mighty strikes. I have the 600 berserker, that's for trash mobs, that way you can chain them down and you'll keep your lightbringer up whenever you're doing a defeat all enemies or running a regular mission. I have 600 paladin, but it's not necessary. I already have 400 from the Iron Giant, so I'm immune to all status effects, and it only took me 5 master points to get the 600, so I went ahead and put it in for the bonus stats. The 600 Void Knight, you do want this for the Void Rune for more MP, and also for that haste while you're swinging, stacked with that Lunatic. It's just going to make your spam that much faster with your 10,000 Gs. Going down my gear, you can kind of see what I'm primarily stacking. You want to stack that Holy Fang damage, that Greatsword combo damage, the near death damage, the damage dealt at max HP, during Lightbringer damage dealt, and the only thing I have for break damage is during Lightbringer break damage dealt. I think I do have, I'll take that back, sorry, that one piece of holy break damage dealt, but it's not really required. You can have even more Lightbringer break damage if you want, and it's going to be about the same. Look at here, you can see the 10,000 G ability, and if you look at it, it says it deals heavy break damage, and that's what's really good about this. It doesn't do heavy HP damage. I mean, it does very good on their health damage, but that break damage you could put out, especially with this build setup, is just absolutely tremendous. Running the 3 command abilities, Mighty Strikes, Lancet, and Lunatic, and the normal Lightbringer. And now looking at the primary blessing, you can see I'm stacking Alexander. Now Titan will give you more health and everything like that. However, I like Alexander because you get a good amount of health, a little bit of strength, a good amount of stamina, but you also get spirit with it. As you can see, I'm rocking 444 spirit, 673 stamina, and 591 strength. That really helps me bypass through their resistance and get that break damage really going with him. You can see here that my damage dealt at max HP is at 86%. My near death is basically 100%. The Lightbringer at 100, and the break damage during Lightbringer is like at 75. My Holy Fang's at 130, and my Greatsword 113. I do need to boost these up. If you looked at my gear, some of those baubles are still very low level, like level, I think, 2s and 4s on some of those. I have not changed any of this gear since the old DLC. The only thing that I have changed so far is the primary blessing, boosted it up, and the master points, since I did get them to 300 and I went and stacked those up more. Other than that, everything I've got is the old gear from the last DLC. So he's really going to get even stronger as I start to put on the new baubles that go all the way up to level 9 and 10 now. Going through my master points, I stacked out strength and spirit. I put in the rest of the points in the stamina because that's what 10,000 G's is based on. I've got the 5 points, as you can see, just to get that 600 paladin going. The damage dealt at max HP stacked up in the near death, just to make sure I get that 100% mark. And the Durin Lightbringer damage dealt. As you can see, it's a very easy build to get up. Nothing's pushing the 800% mark on it. I have not changed any of the affinities whatsoever. Like I said, just the primary summon blessings, stack that up with the Alexander, and then threw on my new master points in the new stack. It's very fun. You can come pretty close to this with the one-handed build, and some of those bosses you can one-shot with the one-handed build. The only problem with the one-handed build is that the final attack that costs 3 MP is very uncontrollable, and if it's a smaller enemy, let's say BK or the Warrior of Light or something like that, not all the attacks will hit. With this one, it's a lot more consistent, especially when you're facing the different bosses. Like I said, it's just very easy to control. You can just absolutely just spam any boss down because you're going to be killing that break gauge with ease. It works very well in co-op. If you're wondering why I have the Lancet, because you can see I'm getting all my MP back, especially if you're playing rank 9 in co-op, that Lancet is kind of a buffer to really help you out, and just in case if you were to miss with one of your swings, because a lot of bosses like to hop back or something like that. That way you can build your MP back while in combat and you're not just staying stagnant with your MP. It's really nice just to have that as a safety net. Other than that, as you can see, I'm running the Tyrant. I just focus, no matter the boss, no matter what element they're supposed to be, I just throw Holy on my weapon every time. That's all you need to do. It's very simple setup, very easy to use this way. And that pretty much sums up this build. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you would like to see my one-headed sword build with the Paladin, where I use the bomb instead of the skeleton, I'll be more than glad to do it. Like I said, I think this one is better because it's far more consistent, but the one-handed build is a lot of fun, and I know that's what I had in my last video, but I really wanted to show this one off first because of what he can do and the way he can just run through bosses like it's absolutely nothing. He's still just absolutely top dog now when it comes to damage, especially to the break gauge, and I'm very glad because the Paladin was at the high end, the low end, throughout the base game and a lot of the other DLCs prior. He was much better off with the Dark Knight to play instead of him, so I'm glad that the Paladin's finally getting some love. But with that wraps it up for the day. I will do another video shortly, probably with my swordsman build will be the next, and I hope to see you on the next. Have a great day, and peace out.
That was quick.